Commissioner Connor, I'm extremely concerned about inadequate funding request for ongoing congressional authorized rural water projects. Two of these projects, Minnewachuny and the Lewis and Clark Regional Water System, are vital infrastructure projects in South Dakota. In your budget request, the 7 authorized drinking water projects would receive a total of just $35 million, with $15 million of that for operations and maintenance. That leaves about $20 million for construction for the projects. My understanding is that past BOR analysis shows it would take $58 million per year in construction dollars just to keep up with inflation. The math here just doesn't work. Especially for Lewis and Clark, the states of South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota, as well as the 20 member cities in rural water systems, have prepaid $153.5 million, which represents 99.7% of their cost share. They have prepaid their share, in some cases a decade or more, before they will receive water. The federal government has nearly half of its cost sharing remaining. The proposed FY12 budget only includes $493,000 for Lewis and Clark, which would not allow for any new construction. Can you assure these cities and rural water systems that the federal government is indeed committed to finishing this important water project in a reasonable time? What is the plan for funding authorized water projects beyond this budget? Because this request takes us and the taxpayers backwards on our investments. Could you respond to that?
Yes, sir, Senator Johnson. Without a doubt, the rural water program is the program in our budget that's taken the biggest decrease in funding this year. As to your specific question about whether the federal government is committed to these projects, we are, but it's going to be very tough in these tight fiscal times. I say we are because we invested, of our $950 million in Recovery Act funds, we invested $200 million initially in these rural water projects, and then recognizing that they were a good investment given the Recovery Act parameters, we allocated another $32 million towards I think 5 of those projects near the end of last year. So we were trying to use those resources as best possible to continue to move those projects out and serve additional communities. But in the priority order that we look at our budget and the resources we have available this year, they're good programs and good projects, but we're just running short on the funds available. We're going to go back and take a look. Pursuant to the 2006 Rural Water Act, we owe Congress a report on the status of these projects and how we can look forward towards trying to complete them. We're going to get that done this summer. We will look at some additional criteria that we may want to add, and we will see what we can do as far as looking at the resources to try and make more progress in addition to the progress that we really made with the Recovery Act funds.
Do you have any suggestions for what the 20 communities and rural water systems that exist using 99.7% of the cost share will do in the future?
Well, we'll work with those communities and see how, in these tight budget times, we can make strategic investments and phase in incrementally those aspects of the project and serve additional people. We are, with respect to Minnewachuny, I recognize Lewis and Clark, that project is having significant problems. Our primary focus, beyond once we get out of the operation and maintenance obligations that we have, is to try and complete projects. And we did complete the Perkins County project in South Dakota, and we're trying to ensure we can complete the Minnewachuny project in 2013.
Mr. Commissioner, I'm eager to see this important project completed, the Minnewachuny project, and appreciate that the Bureau has placed a high priority on the project. Unfortunately, construction funds have still fallen short of what's needed to keep the project on pace, and overhead and non-contract costs have eaten into construction. It is my understanding that reduced funding will have an impact on the ability to complete this and other projects within their statutory timeframes. Will you review the project authorization and recent funding levels and work with Congress to ensure that this project is completed as envisioned?
We will certainly work with you. With respect, the vast majority of our construction funds proposed for 2012 are for Mini-Wachoni. We still think that puts us in the area of being able to complete our obligations by 2013, but we'll review that and work with you, definitely, sir.